Welcome back to Ben's Garage. Today we're on the Panda, the mighty Panda. Today I'm going to attempt to do this cam belt. We've got cam belt, water pump and a new alternator belt to go on. I've got to get this cover off, which is probably going to be the hardest part, getting my hands down the side here. And then it's get it jacked up, get the wheel off, alternator belt off, take the bottom pulley off, leaving the 3 bolts, just hold that on, and then we can line it up, belt off, change the pump, belt back on, and just build it back up. It's as easy as that. So we'll get over here and we'll have a look and see what's going on. On this timing belt cover, there's a bolt in the front. Like so. There's one down the back here. Like so. Got some kind of grommet in there and a big washer holding that on. There's a bolt comes out of there, one comes out of there, and there's one down there somewhere. So I think it's time we'll get down on the floor, we'll get this wheel off, get it jacked up and get the wheel off, put an axle stand under it, and see what we can see from underneath. So took the bottom pulley off. There's the crankshaft, and just up there is another bolt that holds the timing belt cover on. You can see on that bottom pulley there's on this pulley here, there's a timing mark, which we'll get it all cleaned up. We'll get that all cleaned up and we can line that up, and there'll be one at the top as well. So up to the top now. Back on the top floor. Now we should be able to remove the timing belt cover. This is going to be a pain in the neck. Up and down like a bleeding yo-yo. I'll get back down on the floor again now. Being this is a bit difficult for me to get to the bottom and get to the top and see in properly, being in the wheelchair. I've dabbed a couple of white marks on the pulleys. There are timing marks on there, so if you're doing this job, there are timing marks. Check in your manual, you'll see where they line up. So I've just put a white dot on there, white dot on there, that's that lined up. And the same on the bottom. I'm just going to slacken the adjuster and take the belt off. And there we have the timing belt. It's a mincy little thing, but oh my god. This, people, is why we change timing belts. Don't know if you can see that. The teeth there. Is it focusing? That's nearly gone. That was a spot of luck, wasn't it? I'm not sure if these are interference engines or not. I did read somewhere that the 1000cc engine in these wasn't an interference engine. But you don't really want to chance it. You don't want to find out the hard way. You know, if your belt goes and it doesn't interfere, basically an interference engine is when your cam belt snaps, the bottom of your engine keeps turning, because obviously it's connected to your gearbox. The wheels keep the engine turning, if you're driving down the road, that is. The top of your engine, because the belt snaps, the top of your engine stops, so as your pistons come up, they hit the valves and do a lot of damage. That is called an interference engine. And if you're lucky to not have an interference engine and the belt goes, you know, 9 times out of 10 you won't suffer any damage. Put a new belt on, time it all up, job's a good one. But yeah, Tina's gonna be driving this, and I'm so glad that we've done this, because that is pretty worn out. The belt was a bit tight actually. I mean, look at that there. That's nearly got no teeth on it. Anyway, I'll get the new one, we'll have a look. So we've got the new belt here. They're only mincy little things on these, but if you can see that, the teeth on that are slightly different. So that one's pretty much, it could have gone on for another 100,000 miles, but it could have gone tomorrow. So this is the new belt. It's the same length, I've just held it up. I mean, they've got the same numbers on. It's a 104 by 15 millimeters. And that's a 104 FX 150, so I'm assuming that's the same. So anyway, that's that. But also, while we're at it, we've got a new water pump to put on. It didn't come with a gasket, but I've got some gasket sealer to go on there. So there we go, new water pump. That feels nice. And a new tensioner pulley. It comes as a kit. It was only like 40 quid. Power grip by Gates. Gates are a good make. I've fitted Gates belts for years and years. So we're gonna take this adjuster off. There's the adjuster, or the tensioner. That bit just pushes out of the middle. And that's the new one. I'll leave that out until we put the we'll get the water pump put on first. But that feels nice and smooth. That one is it's smooth, but it's rusty and crusty. So we'll expertly catalogue that in the waste bin. Right, now let's get this water pump done. What size are these going to be? Oh, it's tight down there. So the water pump's off. I've got to clean that up now and put the new one on. So it's after lunch now. I hope you're going to be able to hear me. The old wind's picking up a little bit. It's been really windy this year. So I've got the water pump on. It doesn't come with a gasket. You use RTV silicone sealer, or that black stuff basically. That needs an hour to go off, but in the meantime I'm going to build everything else up, get the new tensioner on, and just let this wind die down. It's nice because it's taking the heat out of the sun. Yeah, so I'm going to build it back up with a new tensioner, get the belt back on it, get that tensioned up, and then we'll look at getting the alternator belt on. So I'll get these bits done and I'll show you. So belt's all on, it's adjusted up, new tensioner. Now you want to just do your belt so you can just twist it almost through 90 degrees. You know, doesn't want to be too much playing it, but it doesn't want to be too tight either. If it's too tight, you'll start wearing stuff out. I've turned it over by hand 2 times, lined the marks up again, and it's all spot on. Nothing's moved. Right, I shall carry on building it up. We'll get the new alternator belt on and get the cover on. But I'm going to leave it for a bit before we put water in it, just to make sure that silicone sealer goes off and does its job. And then we'll get some water in it, get it run up and bleed the system out, and that's it. That job is done. That's it, we're all buttoned up. Got the bottom hose back on, got the top hose back on. Cam belts on, adjusted up. Alternator belts back on. I've put the old one back on because it still looked quite good. So we'll keep the new one as a spare. Tina's gonna have a little toolbox in here with some spares and bits and pieces. should she ever need it while she's out on her travels. Hopefully not, touch wood. So I'm still waiting for that stuff to go off. We'll give it a little bit longer, and then we'll see if it starts up, and we'll get this cooling system bled out. So this will be the proof of the pudding. We're going to try and start it. Alright, give it a whirl. That is good. Got to do the choke by hand because I've not done the choke cable yet. Just checking for leaks. So let's get up to temperature and bleed it out, and I'll be right back with you. So that's it, it's all up and running. The cooling system's bled out. The fan's cut in, so that means the thermostat's opened. So all we've got to do is, once it's cooled down, probably tomorrow in the morning, check the coolant level, because that will settle overnight, and we'll just top it up to the maximum mark. But that was 5 litres of pre-mixed antifreeze, and at the moment it's filled the bottle up, so all good stuff. Onwards for some other jobs. So I hope you like this video. Please give it a good thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and from me and the Hobbit, sat in there
thinking about shutting the polytunnel.
It's bye for now.